My name is Morgan Taylor, I'm 34, and nothing prepared me for watching my daughter Lily's face crumble as the minutes ticked by on her 9th birthday. I had spent weeks planning the perfect unicorn party, decorations hung perfectly, rainbow cupcakes arranged just so, party favors personalized for each little guest. Lily kept running to the window, her excitement slowly turning to confusion as the start time came and went. After a full hour of waiting, not a single child had arrived. I had no idea that my own sister was the reason behind those empty chairs and my daughter's tears. Before I tell you how my own sister could betray my daughter so cruelly, take a moment to like and subscribe if you've ever had family drama that crossed the line. Trust me, this story shows just how far jealousy can twist a person's heart. I've been raising Lily on my own since she was 3. Her father decided parenting wasn't for him and moved across the country, sending occasional birthday cards but little else. We've managed just fine though. I work as a nurse at Memorial Hospital, often pulling double shifts and night rotations to provide for us. The schedule is grueling, but it allows me to put food on the table and maintain our modest 2-bedroom apartment in a decent neighborhood with good schools. Lily is the sweetest child you could imagine. She's always been quiet and thoughtful, with a passion for books and art that makes her teachers adore her. Her bedroom walls are covered with her watercolor paintings, mostly of animals and fantasy creatures. She has this incredible ability to get lost in her own imagination for hours. When she concentrates on drawing, she bites her lower lip and twirls a strand of hair around her finger, the same habits I had as a child. My sister Heather is 2 years younger than me, and we couldn't be more different. Growing up, everything was a competition to her, though I never saw it that way. If I got an A on a test, she needed an A+. If I made the volleyball team, she had to be team captain. Our parents always told us to support each other, but Heather seemed to interpret every one of my achievements as somehow diminishing her. The pattern continued into adulthood. Heather married Greg, a successful financial advisor, right after college. They bought a sprawling house in an upscale neighborhood, took exotic vacations twice a year, and drove matching luxury cars. On the surface, she had everything, except a child. Heather and Greg had been trying to conceive for years, enduring multiple rounds of fertility treatments without success. I always tried to be sensitive about this, knowing how badly she wanted to be a mother. I noticed Heather's attitude toward Lily change over the years. When Lily was a baby, Heather doted on her, buying expensive gifts and offering to babysit. But as Lily grew older, Heather became oddly competitive with her own niece. She'd make comments like, "Lily's reading is a bit behind where you were at her age, isn't she? Or don't you think she should be in more activities? Greg's nieces are already in competitive gymnastics." Despite this, I always made an effort to maintain our relationship. Family is family, I thought. Our parents had both passed away, Mom from cancer when Lily was just a baby, and Dad from a heart attack 3 years later. Heather and I only had each other in terms of immediate family, and I wanted Lily to have at least one aunt in her life. Things became noticeably worse after we moved to a new school district last year. The rent in our old neighborhood had skyrocketed, and I found a slightly larger place for less money, albeit in an area where we knew no one. The move was hard on Lily. She'd had a small but stable group of friends at her old school, and starting over in 4th grade proved challenging. Kids had already formed their friendship groups, and Lily's naturally shy demeanor made it difficult for her to break in. I watched my daughter struggle to find her place. She'd come home quiet some days, and I'd later find out she'd eaten lunch alone. She never complained, that's not Lily's way, but I could see the toll it was taking. That's why her birthday party was so important. After 8 months at the new school, a few kids had finally started including her. The party was going to be her chance to solidify these budding friendships outside of school. I'd been saving for months to make this party special. Between rent, utilities, and the medical bills from when Lily broke her arm falling off the monkey bars last winter, my budget was always tight. But I managed to put aside a little from each paycheck, skipping my morning coffee and taking extra shifts when I could. Lily deserved a day where she felt special and celebrated. The weekend before the party, Heather stopped by unexpectedly while I was sorting through decorations. She surveyed the unicorn-themed plates, cups, and banners spread across our dining table. "Going all out, aren't you?" she commented, picking up a package of rainbow napkins. "I hope you didn't spend too much on all this. Kids just end up throwing most of it away." "It's not every day my girl turns 9, I replied, choosing to ignore the criticism. "Besides, I got most of it on sale." Heather picked up the party invitation list and scanned the names. 15 kids? Is that a bit ambitious? Does Lily even know all these children?" "They're from her class," I explained. "Her teacher suggested inviting everyone so no one feels left out." "Well, don't be disappointed if they don't all show up," Heather said with a shrug. "Kids' parties aren't what they used to be. Parents are so busy these days." I should have recognized the gleam in her eye for what it was. Instead, I was surprised when she offered to help with preparations. "Why don't I handle the RSVP confirmations?" she suggested. "You've got enough on your plate, and I'm good with that sort of thing." Grateful for any assistance, I accepted her offer. "That would be amazing, thank you. Most parents have already confirmed through text, but feel free to send reminders." Looking back, I see so many warning signs I missed. The way Heather smiled too brightly when Lily talked excitedly about which friends she was most looking forward to seeing. The questions about how parents had confirmed their attendance. The casual offer to double-check the contact information I'd gathered. I was so busy working and planning that I didn't see the trap being laid right in front of me. The unicorn theme was Lily's choice, of course. She'd been obsessed with the magical creatures since kindergarten, her bookshelf lined with every unicorn-related story she could find. For months before her birthday, she would show me pictures from magazines or websites, her eyes lighting up as she pointed out colorful decorations and elaborate cakes. "Can we have a unicorn cake, Mom?" "With a rainbow mane?" she asked one evening as I tucked her into bed. "Of course, sweetie. It's your special day," I promised, already mentally calculating how I could make it happen on our budget. Shopping for the party became our Saturday morning ritual in the weeks leading up to the big day. We'd visit discount stores and party supply shops, Lily carefully selecting items that fit her vision while I gently guided her toward options that wouldn't break the bank. I loved seeing her excitement as our collection of party supplies grew: rainbow streamers, iridescent balloons, unicorn-shaped paper plates, and a birthday princess crown that she insisted on trying on in the store. "Is this too much?" she asked, suddenly self-conscious as she modeled the sparkly tiara. "Not at all," I assured her, my heart aching at her concern about the cost. "You're only 9 once." The invitations were a labor of love. Rather than buying expensive pre-made cards, we created them ourselves one weekend. I purchased blank cardstock and unicorn stickers, and Lily spent hours at the kitchen table drawing tiny unicorns on each invitation. Her tongue stuck out slightly as she concentrated on making each one unique. "This one's for Emma because she likes purple," Lily explained, showing me an invitation with a purple unicorn. "And this blue one is for Tyler because blue is his favorite color." The personalized touch seemed to work. When Lily distributed the invitations at school, I received a flurry of text messages from parents confirming their children's attendance. Almost everyone said yes, which was both thrilling and slightly panic-inducing. I hadn't actually expected 15 kids to come. 15 kids confirmed. I told Lily after checking my messages one evening. "That's almost everyone you invited." Her face lit up with pure joy. "Really? Even Jacob and Zoe?" These were 2 of the most popular kids in her class, the ones she'd been most nervous about inviting. "Yes," both their moms texted me. "They're excited to come." Lily twirled around the living room, her sock-covered feet sliding on the hardwood floor. "This is going to be the best birthday ever." I spent the next 2 weeks finalizing details. I ordered the unicorn cake from a local bakery, splurging a bit because this was so important to Lily. I arranged party games like pin the horn on the unicorn and bought prizes for the winners. I filled goodie bags with unicorn-themed treasures, stickers, pencils, small notebooks, and candy bracelets. Heather called several times during this period, each conversation leaving me slightly uneasy though I couldn't pinpoint why. "Have you double-checked with the parents?" she asked during one call. "People often say yes just to be polite." "They've all confirmed," I assured her. "What about food allergies? You don't want some kid going into anaphylactic shock at your party." "I've asked all the parents about allergies. We're covered." "And you're sure your apartment is big enough? 15 wild children could be chaotic in such a small space." I took a deep breath. "We'll use the backyard if the weather's nice." "It'll be fine, Heather." Her concerns always seemed reasonable on the surface, but the frequency and intensity of her questions felt like she was hoping I'd discover a fatal flaw in my plans. Still, when she offered to pick up the cake the morning of the party, I gratefully accepted. With everything else on my plate, having one less errand to run was a relief. The day before the party, Lily could hardly contain her excitement. She helped me clean the apartment, moving with such energy that she was sometimes more hindrance than help, but I couldn't dampen her enthusiasm. "Can we put up the decorations now?" she asked repeatedly. "Tomorrow morning," I promised. "Everything will be fresh and perfect when your friends arrive." That night, Lily had trouble falling asleep. I sat on the edge of her bed, stroking her hair as she fidgeted under the covers. "What if they don't like the games?" she whispered, her insecurities suddenly surfacing. "They'll love them," I assured her. "And they're coming for you, Lily, not just for games and cake." "Do you think this will help me make more friends at school?" The question nearly broke my heart. "You're an amazing person, Lily. Anyone would be lucky to be your friend. Tomorrow is just a chance for everyone to see how special you are." She finally drifted off to sleep, and I stayed watching her for a while, my chest tight with love and hope for my sensitive little girl. The morning of the party, we were up early. I hung streamers from the ceiling, attached a unicorn-shaped piñata to the porch overhang, and arranged rainbow-colored balloons throughout the living room. Lily insisted on wearing her special outfit, a purple dress with silver stars and her new white sneakers, right after breakfast, even though the party wouldn't start until 2 p.m. "Is it time to get the cake?" Lily asked every 30 minutes. "Aunt Heather is bringing it," I reminded her. "She should be here soon." By noon, everything was ready. The food table was set with colorful snacks, rainbow fruit skewers, unicorn-shaped sandwiches, pink lemonade, and a vegetable platter arranged to look like a unicorn's face. Party favors were neatly lined up, games were prepared, and the birthday girl was practically vibrating with anticipation. Heather arrived at 1:30 p.m. with the cake, a magnificent creation with a white fondant unicorn and a rainbow mane flowing down the side. "It's perfect," Lily gasped, carefully inspecting it from every angle without touching. "Only the best for my niece," Heather replied with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. She checked her watch. "I have some errands to run, but I'll be back later to help clean up." As she left, I noticed her glancing back at Lily, who was now standing by the window, watching for the first guests to arrive. Something about Heather's expression sent a chill through me, a mixture of satisfaction and anticipation that made no sense in the moment but would soon become devastatingly clear. At exactly 2 p.m., Lily stationed herself by the front window, her face pressed against the glass, scanning the street for approaching cars. I busied myself with last-minute adjustments, straightening napkins, checking that the ice hadn't melted in the punch, making sure the music playlist was ready to go. "They'll be here any minute," I assured her at 2:10 p.m., though I was surprised no one had arrived yet. Parents were usually prompt for children's parties, especially with younger kids. By 2:20 p.m., Lily's excitement had given way to nervous fidgeting. She kept smoothing her dress and adjusting the birthday crown on her head. "Sometimes people run late," I said, trying to keep my voice casual. "Traffic might be bad today." At 2:30 p.m., I decided to start reaching out. I sent a group text to all the parents, "Hi everyone. We're all set up for Lily's party. Looking forward to seeing you soon." No responses came. Lily had moved from the window to the door, opening it every few minutes to look down the walkway. The sparkle in her eyes was dimming, replaced by confusion and the beginning traces of hurt. "Mom? Did I get the day wrong?" she asked in a small voice. "No, sweetie. The invitations definitely said today at 2. Let me try calling some of the parents." I started with Emma's mom, Lisa, who I'd spoken with most recently. The call went straight to voicemail. Same with Tyler's mom. Jacob's father finally answered on the 4th try. "Hello?" He sounded confused. "Hi, Mark, it's Morgan, Lily's mom. We're hosting her birthday party today? I was just wondering if Jacob is still planning to come." There was an uncomfortable pause. "Oh. I thought, didn't you cancel the party? We received a text yesterday saying Lily had come down with the flu and you were postponing." My stomach dropped. "What? No, that's not right. Lily's fine. The party is happening right now." "I'm sorry, but I got a text from your number yesterday afternoon. It said you'd reschedule in a few weeks when Lily was better. Can you forward me that text?" I asked, my mind racing. A moment later, my phone pinged with an incoming message. There it was, a text that appeared to come from my number, sent the day before. "Hi parents, I'm so sorry for the last-minute change, but unfortunately Lily has come down with a bad case of the flu. We'll have to postpone her birthday celebration. I'll be in touch in a couple of weeks when she's feeling better to reschedule. Thanks for understanding. Morgan." I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. "I never sent this," I told Mark, my voice shaking. "We've been preparing all morning. Lily is perfectly healthy." "That's strange," he replied, clearly uncomfortable. "It came from your number. Someone must have. I don't know how this happened, but the party is definitely on. Would Jacob still be able to come?" I was trying to keep my voice steady, aware that Lily was watching me with growing concern. "I'm really sorry, but we've already made other plans for today, thinking it was cancelled. Maybe we can arrange a playdate another time?" Similar conversations followed with other parents. Each one had received the same text, all believing it had come from me. By 3 p.m., it was clear that no one was coming. I turned to find Lily sitting quietly on the couch, staring at the carefully arranged presents on the coffee table, gifts I had purchased and wrapped myself, wanting to ensure she had something to open even if attendance was low. I hadn't anticipated 0 guests. "No one's coming, are they?" she asked, her voice so small it was barely audible. I sat beside her, pulling her into a hug. "I'm so sorry, sweetie. There was a mix-up. Someone sent a message telling everyone the party was cancelled." "But why would someone do that?" Her eyes welled with tears. "I don't know," I answered honestly. "But it's not because they don't like you or don't want to celebrate with you. They all thought you were sick." The tears spilled over, running down her cheeks. "Can we call them back? Tell them it was a mistake?" I tried, baby. "They've all made other plans now." I wiped her tears with my thumb. "But hey, we can still have fun, just us. We have cake and games and dash." "It's not the same." She stood up, her small shoulders slumped in defeat. "I'm going to my room." "Lily, wait dash." I reached for her, but she pulled away. "I want to be alone." I watched helplessly as she trudged down the hallway, closing her bedroom door with a soft click that somehow hurt more than if she had slammed it. I remained on the couch, surrounded by cheerful unicorn decorations that now seemed to mock us. Rainbow streamers hanging limply from the ceiling. Unopened party favors neatly arranged by the door, waiting for children who would never arrive. The magnificent unicorn cake sitting untouched on the dining table, its fondant mane vibrant against the stark white frosting. The doorbell rang at 3:30 p.m. I jumped up, hoping against hope that it was a late-arriving guest. Instead, I found Heather standing there, a concerned expression on her face. "How's the party going?" she asked, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. I gestured wordlessly at the empty apartment. "No one showed up?" Her eyebrows rose in apparent surprise, but something in her tone seemed off. Someone sent texts to all the parents yesterday, pretending to be me, saying that Lily was sick and the party was cancelled. I ran my hands through my hair in frustration. I don't understand who would do such a thing or how. That's terrible, Heather replied, but her eyes didn't match her sympathetic words. She glanced around at the untouched food and decorations. Poor Lily must be devastated. She's in her room. I sank back onto the couch, overwhelmed. I've never seen her so hurt. Heather placed her purse on the counter and pulled out her phone. I should take a picture of the cake before you put it away. It really is beautiful. As she angled for the perfect shot, her phone buzzed with an incoming message. She quickly silenced it, but not before I caught a glimpse of the notification on her screen, an alert from an app called Text Mask. Something clicked in my mind. The fake texts. Heather's odd behavior. Her convenient offer to handle the RSVPs. The satisfied look I'd noticed earlier. Let me see your phone, I said quietly. What? Why? She clutched it to her chest. Heather, give me your phone. My voice was dangerously calm. Don't be ridiculous. This isn't about my phone. She backed away slightly. We should be focusing on cheering Lily up. I stood up slowly. Did you send those texts? Did you pretend to be me and cancel my daughter's birthday party? I don't know what you're talking about. But her eyes darted away, unable to meet mine. Your phone just got a notification from something called Text Mask. Isn't that a spoofing app? For making texts appear to come from someone else's number? Heather's face flushed. You're being paranoid. This is exactly why your relationships always fail, you trust no one. But I had seen enough. While she was distracted defending herself, I snatched the phone from her hands. Hey! Give that back. She lunged for it, but I turned away, quickly navigating to her recent apps. There it was. Text Mask Pro. And when I opened it, I found a list of recent messages, including the exact cancellation text that had been sent to all the parents, showing my phone number as the spoofed sender. The room seemed to spin around me as the full realization hit. My own sister had deliberately ruined her niece's birthday, crushing a 9-year-old's fragile heart for, what? What possible reason could justify such cruelty? How could you? I whispered, holding up the phone so she could see that I'd found the evidence. She's 9 years old, Heather. 9. What kind of person does this to a child? Heather's expression shifted from defensive to defiant. You don't understand. You're right, I don't understand. Explain it to me. My voice was shaking now, rage and hurt battling for dominance. Explain why you would deliberately hurt your own niece. It's always about Lily, isn't it? Heather snatched her phone back. Poor single mom Morgan, working so hard to give precious Lily the perfect life. Everyone thinks you're so amazing, raising her all by yourself, making all these sacrifices. This is about jealousy? You sabotaged a child's birthday party because you're jealous? You have no idea what it's like. Her voice rose sharply. You got pregnant without even trying. Meanwhile, I've been through 4 rounds of IVF, 2 miscarriages, and thousands of dollars of treatments. But you get to have the perfect little family, the perfect little girl, and everyone just adores you both. I stared at her, speechless. I knew Heather had struggled with fertility issues, but I had always tried to be supportive, to be sensitive about bringing up Lily around her. I'd never imagined her resentment ran this deep. That doesn't justify what you did, I finally managed to say. You hurt a child, Heather. A little girl who loves you and looks up to you. She'll get over it. Kids are resilient. I scrolled further through her phone, finding screenshots of all the parents' contacts she'd taken from my phone when I wasn't looking. There were notes in her memo app detailing her plan, listing the times she would send the messages to ensure I wouldn't have time to correct the misinformation. You planned this, I said, the evidence of premeditation making it even worse. This wasn't an impulsive act. You systematically set out to ruin her day. Oh, please. It's one party. No, it's not just a party. I was nearly shouting now. It's a socially anxious 9-year-old who's been struggling to make friends at a new school. It's a child who will now think that nobody wanted to come celebrate with her. Do you have any idea what that does to a kid? Heather rolled her eyes, and something inside me snapped. I grabbed her by the arm and dragged her down the hallway, stopping outside Lily's closed door. From inside, we could hear muffled sobbing. Listen to that, I hissed. That's what you did. That sound right there, that's your accomplishment for the day. Are you proud of yourself? For the first time, a flicker of shame crossed Heather's face. But it was quickly replaced by defensiveness. You're blowing this out of proportion. She'll have other birthdays. I pulled out my phone and forwarded myself the evidence from her text mask app before handing her phone back to her. I think you should leave. Now. Morgan. Get out of my house, Heather. I don't want to look at you right now. She hesitated, then grabbed her purse and moved toward the door. You're overreacting. Call me when you've calmed down. Don't count on it. I opened the door and practically pushed her outside. And don't come back until you're ready to apologize to Lily, not to me, to her. After closing the door behind her, I leaned against it, trying to process what had just happened. How could my own sister, my flesh and blood, deliberately cause such pain to her niece? The depth of her jealousy and resentment was staggering. I took a few deep breaths, trying to compose myself before checking on Lily. She didn't need to see me angry, she needed comfort and reassurance. But first, I had an idea. I quickly sent a group text to all the parents, explaining what had happened and attaching the evidence from Heather's phone. I'm so sorry for the confusion. As you can see from these screenshots, someone used a spoofing app to send fake cancellation messages from my number. Lily's birthday party was very much on, and she's heartbroken that none of her friends could come. I understand everyone has made other plans by now, but if anyone is free tomorrow afternoon, we'd love to have an impromptu makeup celebration. Then I put the phone away and went to Lily's room, knocking gently on the door. Sweetie? Can I come in? There was no response, but I opened the door anyway. Lily was curled up on her bed, hugging her favorite stuffed unicorn, her face tear-streaked and blotchy from crying. I sat down beside her and stroked her hair. I'm so sorry about what happened today. Why did no one want to come to my party? She asked, her voice hoarse from crying. How could I explain this to her? How do you tell a child that her own aunt deliberately sabotaged her birthday out of jealousy? Someone sent fake messages to all your friends' parents, making them think the party was cancelled, I explained carefully. They thought you were sick and that we were going to reschedule. Someone like who? Her brow furrowed in confusion. I hesitated. It was Aunt Heather, I finally admitted. I wouldn't normally share such a painful truth with her, but I also couldn't bear the thought of Lily believing her friends had rejected her. Aunt Heather? Lily sat up, incredulous. But why would she do that? Sometimes adults do very hurtful things because they're dealing with their own pain, I said, trying to find an explanation that would make sense to a 9-year-old without demonizing her aunt completely. Aunt Heather is very sad that she doesn't have a child of her own, and sometimes that sadness makes her do things that aren't kind. But I'm her niece. Doesn't she love me? My heart shattered at the question. Of course she loves you, Lily. But right now, she's not being a very good aunt. And what she did was absolutely not okay. Lily thought about this for a moment. Is she going to say sorry? I hope so. But whether she does or not, I want you to know that your friends didn't choose not to come today. They were all excited about your party. This wasn't your fault, and it wasn't about you. She nodded slowly, processing this information. Can we still have cake? The simple request made me smile through unshed tears. Of course we can have cake. And you can open your presents. And tomorrow, I've invited everyone to come for a do-over party. Some of them might be able to make it. Really? A small spark of hope returned to her eyes. Really? Now, how about we go slice that beautiful unicorn cake? We spent the rest of the afternoon having our own small celebration. I put on her favorite music, we played some of the party games, just the two of us, and Lily opened her presents. It wasn't the birthday party she had dreamed of, but we made the best of it. After Lily went to bed that night, exhausted from the emotional day, I checked my phone. Several parents had responded to my group text, expressing outrage at what had happened and offering to bring their children the next day for a makeup celebration. A few even offered to bring additional treats or decorations. I was just about to turn off the lights when the doorbell rang. I opened it to find Greg, Heather's husband, standing there looking distraught. "Morgan, I just heard what happened," he said. "May I come in?" I hesitated, then stepped aside to let him enter. "Heather told me what she did," he continued, running a hand through his hair. "I can't even begin to apologize enough. I had no idea she was capable of something like this." "Neither did I replied tiredly. "She's my sister, Greg. How could she do this to Lily?" He sank onto the couch, looking utterly defeated. "The fertility treatments have been difficult. The last round failing hit her especially hard. But that's no excuse for hurting a child. When she came home and I got the full story out of her, I was..." He trailed off, shaking his head. "I'm so deeply sorry. For what it's worth, I've insisted she get professional help. This level of resentment and acting out isn't normal or healthy." "I appreciate that," I said, "but right now, my concern is for Lily. She's the innocent victim in all this." "Of course," he agreed immediately. "What can I do? Is there any way to make this right for her?" I thought about it for a moment. "Some parents have offered to bring their kids for a makeup party tomorrow. If you wanted to help, you could contribute toward making that special, maybe rent a bouncy castle or something that would make it memorable in a positive way." "Consider it done," Greg said without hesitation. "And Morgan, I know this might be asking too much right now, but eventually, I hope you'll allow Heather to apologize to Lily in person. When she's gotten help and understands the gravity of what she did." I couldn't make that promise yet. The wound was too fresh, the betrayal too deep. But I nodded slightly, acknowledging his request without committing to it. After Greg left, I sat alone in the living room, surrounded by the remnants of the party that never happened, wondering how my relationship with my sister could ever recover from this, and whether I even wanted it to. The morning after the party disaster, I woke to my phone buzzing continuously with messages. More parents responding to my group text, expressing shock and sympathy. Friends and neighbors who had heard about what happened offering support. Even Lily's teacher sent a kind note saying she would talk with the class on Monday to clear up any confusion about the cancelled party. Lily emerged from her room looking better than I expected, though the shadows under her eyes suggested she hadn't slept well. "Are people really coming today?" she asked cautiously over breakfast, as if afraid to hope. "Yes, sweetie. At least 6 kids have confirmed so far," I assured her, showing her the messages. "And look, Emma's mom said they're bringing extra cupcakes, and Tyler's dad is bringing their karaoke machine." A small smile appeared on her face. "Can I wear my birthday dress again?" "Absolutely." As we began setting up for the impromptu do-over party, the doorbell rang. I opened it to find a delivery man with an enormous unicorn-shaped bouncy castle. "Delivery for Lily Taylor," he announced. "Where would you like this set up?" Lily's eyes widened to the size of saucers. "A bouncy castle? For me?" I directed the delivery man to our small backyard, remembering Greg's promise to help make the day special. Whatever issues I had with Heather, at least her husband was trying to make amends. Just as the bouncy castle was fully inflated, my phone rang. Heather's name flashed on the screen. I hesitated, then decided to answer it outside where Lily couldn't hear. "What do you want, Heather?" "I want to talk," she said, her voice lacking its usual confidence. "In person." "I'm outside in my car." I spotted her sedan parked across the street. I'm busy setting up for the party you ruined. The do-over party. Please, Morgan. 5 minutes. Against my better judgment, I walked across the street to her car. Heather rolled down the window, and I was struck by how awful she looked, eyes red and puffy, hair uncombed, wearing what appeared to be yesterday's clothes. Greg left me, she said without preamble. He's staying at a hotel. He said what I did to Lily was unforgivable, and he can't be with someone who would hurt a child out of spite. I felt a surprising lack of sympathy. And what do you want me to say to that? That he's wrong? I didn't think it through, she continued, as if I hadn't spoken. I was just so angry and jealous, and it felt like you had everything I wanted. A child. A purpose. Everyone's admiration. I'm a single mom working double shifts to make ends meet, Heather. My life is far from perfect. But you have Lily, she whispered, her voice breaking. Do you have any idea what it's like to want a child so badly, to try everything, spend every penny, and still fail? To watch my little sister, who didn't even plan to get pregnant, raise this beautiful, perfect little girl? It's like a knife twisting in my heart every time I see you together. For the first time, I glimpsed the depth of her pain, the raw wound that had festered for years. But understanding her hurt didn't excuse her actions. I've always been sensitive about Lily around you, I said quietly. I've never rubbed motherhood in your face. I've supported you through every treatment, every disappointment. I've been there for you, Heather. I know, she admitted, looking down at her hands. That almost makes it worse. Because I can't even hate you properly. You're a good sister and a good mother, and that just makes me feel more broken in comparison. So you decided to break Lily instead? A child who loves you? Tears spilled down her cheeks. I didn't think about her at all. That's the horrible truth. I just wanted to hurt you, to make you feel a fraction of the pain I feel every day. I didn't consider what it would do to Lily. That's the problem, isn't it? You never considered Lily as a real person with feelings. She was just an extension of me, a symbol of what you couldn't have. Heather didn't deny it. I'm seeing a therapist tomorrow, she said instead. Greg insisted, but he's right. I need help. This level of jealousy isn't normal. I know that. Good. I hope it helps you. I want to apologize to Lily. I shook my head firmly. Not yet. Maybe not for a long time. She's confused and hurt enough right now. Will you ever forgive me? Her question hung in the air between us. I don't know, I answered honestly. Right now, I need to focus on Lily and making sure today's party goes well. But Heather? If you ever do anything to hurt my daughter again, you won't have to worry about forgiveness because you won't be part of our lives at all. I turned and walked back toward my house, where bouncy castle delivery men were just finishing up. As I reached the front walk, another car pulled up, my mother-in-law, Elizabeth, who I hadn't seen in months. She usually coordinated with her son, Lily's father, for occasional visits. Elizabeth? What are you doing here? I heard about what happened, she said, pulling a large gift bag from her car. Your neighbor Diane called me. I thought Lily might need an extra grandmother today. The unexpected support brought tears to my eyes. Elizabeth and I had always had a cordial but distant relationship. Her appearance today meant more than she could know. Inside, I found that news of the party sabotage had spread through our extended network. My phone kept buzzing with messages from people wanting to help, coworkers offering to bring food, neighbors volunteering to help supervise the kids, even Lily's old friends from our previous neighborhood asking if they could stop by. By noon, our small apartment and backyard had transformed. The bouncy castle dominated the yard, surrounded by additional decorations brought by helpful neighbors. The food table had doubled in size with potluck contributions. The unicorn cake from yesterday had been joined by cupcakes, cookies, and other treats. And most importantly, children began to arrive, not just the 6 who had initially confirmed, but eventually 11 kids in total, nearly the entire original guest list. Some parents stayed to help, forming an impromptu community of support around us. I found Lily in the middle of it all, bouncing in the castle with 3 other girls, her face flushed with joy and excitement. When she spotted me watching, she gave me a thumbs up, her smile so bright it made my heart ache with relief. As the party continued in full swing, Greg arrived, standing awkwardly at the edge of the yard until I approached him. "Thank you for the bouncy castle," I said. "It's been a huge hit." "It's the least I could do." He looked around at the celebration. "You've created something wonderful here, even after what happened. Lily is lucky to have you as her mom." "I had help," I admitted, gesturing to the neighbors and friends who had rallied around us. "I wanted you to know that I'm serious about Heather getting help," he continued. "What she did, it showed me a side of her I hadn't fully recognized before. I love her, but this can't happen again." "I appreciate that." I hesitated, then added, "For what it's worth, I hope she finds peace with this part of her life. I just can't let Lily be collateral damage in the meantime." Greg nodded in understanding. "I should go. Please let Lily know her uncle sent his love." As he left, I watched the children playing, the adults chatting, the community that had formed around us in our time of need. The betrayal still hurt, a wound that would take time to heal, but surrounded by so much genuine kindness, I felt the first steps toward forgiveness might someday be possible. The evening after the successful do-over party, once Lily was tucked into bed surrounded by her new presents, I sat down at my laptop. On impulse, I wrote a post for our neighborhood social media group. "To everyone who helped make today's party for Lily a success, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yesterday, my daughter's 9th birthday party was sabotaged when someone sent fake cancellation messages to all the guests. Lily was heartbroken when no one showed up. But today, thanks to our amazing community, she had the celebration she deserved. The bouncy castle, the food, the decorations, and most importantly, your children's presents, it all meant the world to us. Sometimes people let you down in unimaginable ways, but then others step up and remind you of the goodness in the world." I hesitated before adding the final sentence, "For anyone struggling with grief, jealousy, or pain that's causing you to hurt others, please seek help. The cycle of hurt can stop with you." I wasn't ready to publicly forgive Heather, but I understood enough about her pain to recognize that others might be struggling similarly. I posted it without mentioning Heather by name and went to bed, emotionally exhausted from the weekend's events. The next morning, I woke to find my post had gone viral within our local community. Dozens of supportive comments had accumulated overnight. Some shared similar stories of family betrayal, others offered words of encouragement for Lily, and a few local businesses had even commented with offers of free birthday treats and experiences for Lily to enjoy. Sweet Dreams Bakery would love to invite Lily for a private cupcake decorating session with friends. On the house. Enchanted Princess parties here, we'd be honored to send one of our unicorn princesses to visit Lily for a special post-birthday surprise. My daughter Emma hasn't stopped talking about how much fun she had at Lily's party yesterday. Can we arrange a playdate soon? I showed the comments to Lily over breakfast, watching her eyes widen with each one I read. All these people care about me? She asked, incredulous. They do, I confirmed. Sometimes when something bad happens, it reveals all the good people around you that you might not have noticed before. Lily was quiet for a moment, absorbing this. Is Aunt Heather a bad person now? The question caught me off guard. No, sweetie. Aunt Heather did a very bad thing, but that doesn't make her a bad person. She's hurting inside and didn't handle those feelings well. Will I see her again? Not right away, I said carefully. She needs some time to work through her feelings with a special doctor who helps with emotions. And we need some time too. Lily nodded, seemingly satisfied with this explanation. Can I have a playdate with Emma? Absolutely. The next few weeks brought a surprising transformation in our lives. The story of Heather's betrayal and the community's response had touched something in our neighborhood. Lily, once struggling to make friends, suddenly found herself with multiple playdate invitations. Parents made special efforts to include her, and children who had previously overlooked the quiet new girl now sought her out at school. "Mom, Zoe asked if I could sit with her at lunch today," Lily reported excitedly one afternoon. "And Tyler said he likes my unicorn drawings. He wants me to teach him how to draw them too." I tried to suppress the ache that came with the knowledge that it had taken a public tragedy to bring about the social acceptance Lily had been craving. But the joy on her face was undeniable, and I chose to focus on that rather than the circumstances that had preceded it. The offers from local businesses materialized into real experiences. Lily decorated cupcakes with 3 friends at Sweet Dreams Bakery, had a unicorn princess visit our apartment for stories and face painting, and received a free riding lesson at a nearby stable. Through it all, I maintained minimal contact with Heather. Greg provided occasional updates. She was seeing a therapist twice weekly, had joined a support group for women dealing with infertility, was making progress understanding her actions. I acknowledged these messages but wasn't ready for more direct communication. About 3 weeks after the birthday incident, I decided Lily might benefit from professional support as well. The betrayal by a trusted family member had left its mark, despite all the positive attention that had followed. I found a child psychologist specializing in family trauma, Dr. Linda Kaplan, and arranged an initial session. Dr. Kaplan had a warm office filled with toys and art supplies, immediately putting Lily at ease. "Sometimes when grown-ups do hurtful things, it can be very confusing," Dr. Kaplan explained to Lily during their first meeting, which I sat in on. "It's okay to feel sad or angry about what happened, even if you still love the person who hurt you." Lily nodded, fidgeting with a puppet she'd found on a nearby shelf. "I'm not sure if I should still love Aunt Heather," she admitted in a small voice. "She made all my friends think I didn't want them at my party." "Your feelings about your aunt might be mixed up right now, and that's perfectly normal," Dr. Kaplan assured her. "You can be angry at someone and still care about them. Feelings are complicated like that." Over the next few sessions, Lily used art therapy to express her emotions about the birthday incident. She drew pictures of the empty party, of herself crying in her room, but also of the wonderful do-over celebration and her new friendships. Dr. Kaplan met with me separately to discuss strategies for helping Lily process the betrayal. "Children are remarkably resilient," she told me, "especially when they have a supportive parent like you. Lily is handling this well, but she does have questions about when and if she'll see her aunt again." "I'm not sure I'm ready for that," I admitted. "And that's completely valid," Dr. Kaplan assured me. "But it might be helpful to give Lily some sense of what to expect. Children find comfort in knowing what's coming, even if it's just 'we won't be seeing Aunt Heather for a while, and I'll let you know when that might change.'" I took this advice to heart and had a gentle conversation with Lily that evening. "Dr. Kaplan told me you've been wondering about when you might see Aunt Heather again," I began as we sat together on her bed during our nightly reading time. Lily nodded, clutching her stuffed unicorn. "I want you to know that it's okay to miss her, even though she did something very hurtful," I continued. "Right now, Aunt Heather is working with her own doctor to understand why she made that choice and how to make better choices in the future. It might be a while before we see her again, but I promise I'll talk with you before that happens." "Will you and Aunt Heather ever be friends again?" Lily asked. I considered the question carefully. "I don't know, sweetie. Sometimes when trust is broken, it takes a long time to rebuild. But I do know that holding on to anger forever isn't good for anyone. So I'm working on forgiving her, even if our relationship might look different in the future." "I think I'm working on that too," Lily said thoughtfully. "Forgiving her, I mean." Her emotional maturity brought tears to my eyes. "You have the kindest heart, Lily Taylor. Don't ever lose that." The 6th week after the birthday incident brought an unexpected development. I received a text from Greg. "Heather has written a letter to Lily. Would it be okay if I dropped it off? No pressure for her to read it until you think she's ready." I hesitated, then agreed. That evening, Greg delivered a sealed envelope addressed to Lily in Heather's familiar handwriting. I thanked him but explained I would need to read it first before deciding whether to give it to my daughter. After Lily went to bed, I carefully opened the envelope and unfolded the letter inside. Dear Lily, I don't know if your mom will give you this letter, and I wouldn't blame her if she didn't. What I did to you was unforgivable, and I am more sorry than words can express. Your birthday should have been a day filled with joy and friendship. Instead, I let my own sadness and jealousy hurt you, the most innocent person in all of this. You did nothing to deserve what happened, and I want you to know that it had nothing to do with you and everything to do with my own problems. I'm working with a doctor now who helps me understand my feelings better. I've learned that sometimes when people are in pain, they make terrible choices that hurt others. That's what I did, and I will regret it for the rest of my life. I miss your drawings and your stories about unicorns. I miss your laugh and the way you scrunch your nose when you're thinking hard about something. Most of all, I miss being your aunt. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, or maybe ever. But I want you to know that I love you very much, and I am doing everything I can to become the kind of person who deserves to be in your life again someday. With all my love and deepest apologies. Aunt Heather. I read the letter twice, searching for any hint of manipulation or self-pity. To my surprise, I found none, just what appeared to be genuine remorse and a recognition of the harm she had caused. The letter didn't ask for forgiveness or make excuses. It simply acknowledged the wrong and expressed love. After careful consideration and a consultation with Dr. Kaplan, I decided to share the letter with Lily when the time felt right. That moment came a few days later, after a particularly positive therapy session where Lily had expressed feeling almost all better about the birthday incident. Aunt Heather wrote you a letter, I told her as we walked home from Dr. Kaplan's office. Would you like to read it? Lily thought about it for a moment. Yes, she decided. I think I'm ready. I gave her the letter when we got home, sitting beside her as she read it slowly, her brow furrowed in concentration. When she finished, she folded it carefully and placed it back in the envelope. She sounds really sorry, Lily observed. I think she is, I agreed. Can I write back to her? The request surprised me, but Dr. Kaplan had emphasized the importance of allowing Lily agency in how she processed this situation. If you'd like to, yes. That evening, Lily sat at the kitchen table with colored pencils and paper, crafting her response with careful deliberation. She didn't show it to me when she finished, simply folded it into an envelope and wrote Aunt Heather on the front. Can we mail this tomorrow? She asked. Of course, I promised, marveling at my daughter's capacity for grace in the face of betrayal. The do-over birthday celebration had been wonderful, but the surprise that came 2 months later truly took my breath away. What started as a small idea from Emma's mom had blossomed into something extraordinary, involving nearly our entire neighborhood. Operation Unicorn Surprise, they called it, planning it meticulously behind the scenes while keeping both Lily and me in the dark. The first I heard of it was a mysterious invitation delivered to our door on a Friday afternoon. Miss Lily Taylor is cordially invited to a special unicorn celebration at Willow Creek Park, Sunday at 2 p.m. Dress, magical. RSVP, not necessary. Your presence is all that's required. Lily's eyes widened as I read it to her. Is this for me? Really? Apparently so, I said, just as mystified as she was. But it's not my birthday anymore. I guess someone wants to celebrate you anyway. Sunday arrived with perfect weather, sunshine streaming through scattered clouds, temperatures mild enough for comfort. Lily wore her birthday dress again, insisting it was the most magical outfit she owned, and I couldn't argue with her logic. As we approached the park's central pavilion, I gasped audibly. The entire area had been transformed into a unicorn wonderland. Pastel streamers hung from trees, tables covered in iridescent cloths held rainbow-colored treats, and a large banner proclaimed, "We believe in magic, and we believe in Lily." But most astonishing was the turnout. Not just the children from Lily's class, but dozens of neighbors, local business owners, parents from school, and even teachers had gathered. Some wore unicorn headbands or sparkly accessories in keeping with the theme. Emma rushed forward to greet Lily, grabbing her hand. Surprise! We wanted to show you how special you are to everyone. Lily stood frozen in shock, her eyes sweeping over the crowd of people who had come specifically to celebrate her. "All these people are here, for me?" "They sure are, sweetheart," said Lisa, Emma's mom, approaching us with a warm smile. "After what happened at your birthday, we wanted to show you that this community cares about you." One little girl came up with the idea, and everyone just jumped on board. "This is..." I struggled to find words, emotion tightening my throat. "I don't know what to say." "Thank you doesn't seem enough." "No thanks needed," Lisa assured me. "This is what community is about, being there for each other in the hard times and celebrating the good ones." The afternoon unfolded like a dream. There were unicorn-themed games, a face-painting station, and even a local horse owner who had brought his white pony, decorated with a horn and rainbow mane for the occasion, offering rides to all the children. I watched in amazement as Lily moved through the celebration, surrounded by friends both old and new. The shy, uncertain girl who had struggled to find her place was nowhere to be seen. In her stead was a child blooming with confidence, laughing freely, and connecting easily with others. "Your daughter is something special," commented Diane, our neighbor who had first spread the word about the birthday disaster. "The way she's handled everything, with such grace and forgiveness. Not many adults could do the same." "She constantly amazes me," I agreed, watching as Lily helped a younger child navigate the unicorn obstacle course, offering encouraging words and a steady hand. Midway through the party, I noticed Greg standing at the edge of the gathering, looking uncertain about whether he should approach. I made my way over to him. "I hope it's okay that I'm here," he said. I wanted to see how Lily was doing. "It's fine," I assured him. "Lily will be glad to see her uncle." I have something for you." He handed me an envelope. "From Heather. She's continuing with therapy and doing much better. This is for you, not Lily. She wanted me to tell you there's no pressure to respond." I took the envelope, feeling a complex mix of emotions. "Thank you. How are things between you two?" "We're working on it," he said with a small smile. "Taking it day by day. The counseling has been good for both of us, actually." Before I could respond, Lily spotted him and came running over. "Uncle Greg. Did you see the unicorn pony? It's amazing." "I did see it, Pumpkin," he replied, his face lighting up at her enthusiasm. "Have you had a ride yet?" "I'm waiting for my turn. Do you want to wait with me?" As they walked off together, I slipped Heather's letter into my pocket, deciding to read it later when I could give it my full attention. The celebration continued for hours, winding down only as the sun began to set. Lily was practically glowing with happiness, clutching a handmade unicorn memory book that all the attendees had contributed to with messages and photos. "This was even better than my actual birthday," she declared as we walked home, her small hand in mine. "I didn't know so many people cared about me." "You touch more lives than you realize, Lily. You're an extraordinary person." That night, after Lily had fallen asleep surrounded by her unicorn treasures, I finally opened Heather's letter. "Dear Morgan. I know a letter can't undo what I did, and I don't expect it to. But I wanted you to know that I am truly sorry, not just for ruining Lily's birthday, but for the years of resentment and jealousy that led to that moment. Therapy has helped me understand that my infertility journey became so all-consuming that I lost perspective on everything else. I allowed myself to see you and Lily not as beloved family members, but as painful reminders of what I couldn't have. That distorted thinking led me to commit an act of cruelty that I will regret for the rest of my life. I'm learning to separate my grief over not having children from my relationships with others who do. I'm learning that my worth isn't tied to my ability to conceive. And most importantly, I'm learning that causing pain to others never eases one's own, it only compounds it. I don't expect forgiveness, and I will respect whatever boundaries you need to set for yourself and Lily. I just wanted you to know that I am doing the work to become a better person, one who would never again hurt the people she loves." Lily's response to my letter was more grace than I deserved. She wrote, "I'm still sad about what happened, but my mom says holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. I don't want to be poisoned, so I'm practicing forgiveness. I miss you too. Out of the mouths of babes, right? Your daughter has taught me more about grace in her short letter than I've learned in years of adulthood. Whatever you decide about our relationship going forward, please know that I love you both and am grateful for Lily's presence in this world, even if I lost sight of that for a while. With love and deepest regret. Heather. I folded the letter, wiping away tears. The path to reconciliation would be long and uncertain, but for the first time since the birthday disaster, I felt it might eventually be possible. The following morning, Lily and I sat at our kitchen table eating breakfast when she suddenly asked, "Mom, do you think we should invite Aunt Heather for ice cream sometime? Not right away, but maybe soon?" I looked at my daughter, this wise, compassionate soul who continually surprised me with her capacity for forgiveness and understanding. "Maybe," I replied honestly. "Would that be something you want?" She considered the question seriously. "I think so. Dr. Kaplan says it's okay to be careful with people who've hurt you, but also that sometimes people deserve second chances if they're really trying to change." That's very true. And, she continued, at the unicorn party yesterday, I realized something. When bad things happen, sometimes good things come after. If Aunt Heather hadn't ruined my birthday, I wouldn't have made so many new friends. The kids at school might never have noticed me. I reached across the table to squeeze her hand. "You're right, though I wish you hadn't had to learn that lesson through pain." "It's okay," Lily said with a shrug and wisdom beyond her years. "I'd rather know what people are really like, both the good ones and the not-so-good ones. Then I can choose who to let close to my heart." That afternoon, I sent a text message to Heather. "Lily has asked about seeing you for ice cream. Not immediately, but perhaps in a few weeks. We can discuss details when we're all ready." Her response came quickly, "Thank you. That means more than you know. Whenever and however you both feel comfortable." 6 months after the birthday that wasn't and then was, life had found a new rhythm. Lily was thriving at school with a solid group of friends. The unicorn theme had evolved into a broader interest in mythology and fantasy literature, filling our apartment with library books about griffins, phoenixes, and dragons. My relationship with Heather remained careful and measured, but we had begun rebuilding, first through occasional text messages, then brief coffee meetings without Lily, and eventually, that promised ice cream outing with all three of us. The conversations were sometimes awkward, sometimes emotional, but always honest. During one of our coffee meetings, Heather shared news that she and Greg had begun exploring adoption options. The therapy helped me realize that my desire to be a mother wasn't about pregnancy or genetics, she explained. It was about loving and nurturing a child. There are so many children who need homes, and we have so much love to give. "I think you'll be a wonderful mother," I told her, and meant it. The Heather sitting across from me now, reflective, humble, genuinely concerned for others' feelings, was capable of the selfless love that motherhood requires. On Lily's 10th birthday, we held a small, intimate celebration, just family and her closest friends. Heather attended, bringing a thoughtfully chosen gift and keeping a respectful distance, allowing Lily to approach her when comfortable. The tension was still there, but diminished, overlaid with a cautious hope for healing. As Lily prepared to blow out her candles on a cake decorated with dragons rather than unicorns, "I'm 10 now, Mom, unicorns are for little kids," I caught her smiling at the circle of people surrounding her, friends who had proved their loyalty, family working on repairing broken bonds, community members who had become like extended family. "Make a wish," I encouraged. "I don't need to," she whispered back. "I already have everything important." Later that night, as I tucked her into bed, Lily said something I'll never forget. "Mom, remember when we thought my birthday was ruined forever? But now I think it was the most important birthday I'll ever have." "Why do you say that?" "Because it taught me that the worst things can lead to the best things. It taught me that people can make terrible mistakes and still change. And it showed me who really cares about me." She yawned, snuggling deeper under her covers. "I think the best lessons are the hardest ones to learn." As I kissed her forehead and turned out the light, I reflected on how true that was. The deepest wounds often come from those closest to us, but true healing happens when we surround ourselves with genuine love. While I've learned to set boundaries with my sister, I've also learned that the family we choose can be stronger than the family we're born into. Lily taught me that even in our darkest moments, kindness is always a choice worth making. Have you ever experienced betrayal from someone you trusted? How did you find the strength to move forward? Please share your experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if this story resonated with you. Remember that your support helps me continue sharing these personal journeys. Thank you for being part of this community that reminds us all that after the darkest storms, rainbows, and sometimes unicorns, can appear when we least expect them.